Hi and welcome to Chemipedia chemistry classes for 11th standard. In this video, I am going to discuss about the types of elements based on the electronic configuration. This is from unit number 3, periodic classification lesson. So based on the electronic configuration or the valence electron, we have 4 different types of elements in the periodic table. They are nothing but S block, P block, D block and F block elements. So now we are going to discuss some important properties of these 4 block elements. Let us start with the S block elements. S block elements belongs to group number 1 and 2. So S block elements are placed in first group and second group. The first and second group together are called as S block elements because their valence electron is added in ns orbital. So that is the reason why they are called as S block elements. The general electronic configuration of S block elements is ns 1 to 2. That is, S block elements have electron in the ns orbital. The ns orbital can have minimum 1 to maximum 2 electron. That is the general electronic configuration. ns 1-2, 1 minimum 1 to maximum 2. Okay, right. Then in this, the group 1 is generally called as alkali metals. So group 1 is called alkali metals because these metals form their oxides. Their oxides readily give alkalis when they are dissolved in water. So that these metals are forming alkalis, so that they are called as alkali metals. Group number 2 is called as alkaline earth metals, which means they also capable of giving alkalis, water soluble bases, as well as they show the occurrence in the earth crust. That is the reason why group 2 elements are generally called as alkaline earth metals. Okay, group 1 consists of lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. Group 2 consists of beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. In both groups, the last element is radioactive in nature. Okay, right. So what are the general properties of S block elements? Generally, they are soft in nature. Say S block elements can be cut even with help of knife. Such a soft metals they are. They have low melting point as well as low boiling point. They have less density, so that the melting point and boiling point are comparatively low, as well as they have low ionization enthalpy also. So which means it is easier removing electron from S block elements. ns1, probably they have either ns1 or ns2 configuration. Once that electrons are removed, probably they get stable octet configuration. So only a minimum energy required for removing electron from S block elements, so that they have low ionization enthalpy. They have high reactivity. They are highly reactive. The reactivity of S block elements are more. They form ionic compounds. They readily form ionic compounds by transfer of electrons. They are highly electropositive. So electropositive nature is nothing but tendency of losing electron. So that alkali metals and alkaline earth metals are highly electropositive in the sense they are ready to lose the electrons, and they impart color to the flame, which means when they are heated in flame, when they are heated in Bunsen flame, they may give colors. For example, when sodium gives yellow color, whereas lithium gives lilac, calcium, brick red color, you know that, isn't it? And these S block elements are readily forming basic oxides. That is the reason why they are called as alkali metals and alkaline earth metals. Then all are metals. So all the elements which are present in S block are metals. So these are some general properties of S block elements. So next I am moving to the P block elements. P block elements belongs to group number 13 to 18, which is placed on the right hand side of the periodic table, modern periodic table. Whereas S block elements are located on left hand side of the periodic table. Okay, right. These are called as P block elements because their valence electrons are added in p orbital, np orbital. Okay, right. Then the general electronic configuration of P block elements is ns2 np126, which means in P block elements the S orbital is fully filled, ns orbital is fully filled, whereas there is a difference in electron in the p orbital from minimum 1 to maximum 6. If we start with 13th group with p1 electron, 18th group ends with np6 electronic configuration. So that only there is a difference in p electron from 1 to 6. That's why the configuration ns2. This s2 is common for all the groups, all the 6 groups in p block. P electron only varies. Okay, right. Now some important groups in p block. Group number 16 is called as chalcogen, which means ore forming elements. Actually, in group number 16, we have two important elements, oxygen and sulfur. They are mainly involving in formation of ores. Majority of ores are found in form of oxides, next to that sulfides. So that these group elements are involving ore formation, so that they are called as chalcogens. Chalcogen means ore forming elements. Group number 17 is called as halogen. Halogen means salt forming, salt producer. Chlorine, bromine, iodine, so they are nothing but halogens, isn't it? So they take part in salt formation, so that they are called as halogens. The last group of P block is nothing but group number 18, inert gases. They are inactive. They have NS2 NP6 electronic configuration. They have fully filled octet configuration, so that they are not readily reacting with other element. That is the reason why they are called as inert gases. Okay, right. Then the properties of P block, they have high negative electron gain enthalpy. So P block elements are having more tendency of gaining electron rather than losing electron. So they have high ionization energy compared with S block elements. So comparing with S block elements, the ionization enthalpy of P block elements are comparatively high, because generally, say, when you move from left to right in the periodic table, ionization enthalpy generally increases. P block being located on right hand side of periodic table generally possesses high ionization enthalpy, and they form covalent compounds. Most of the elements are forming covalent compounds, which means they are ready to share electron rather than lose or gain electrons. They possess variable valency. There are many elements with more than one valency in the P block elements. Variable valency is nothing but having more than one valency. Okay, variable oxidation state otherwise. Then the other name for the group 13 is icosagen. Group 14 is also called as tetragen. Group 15 is also called as pnictogen. Okay, so these are the other names for that group number 13, 14 and 15. Okay, right. Then S block and P block element together called as main group element. There is no separate name, no other name for S block and P block separately, but they together called as main group elements. That is S and P block together main group element. Okay, right. Then the next type is nothing but D block elements. So these are also called as transition elements. Okay, because their properties are transition between, intermediate between highly reactive S block and less reactive P blocks. That's the reason why these D block elements are generally called as transition elements, transition metals also. Okay, right. So they belong to group number 3 to group number 12 in the modern periodic table. So in these elements, the valence electron is added in D orbital, so that they generally called as D block elements. Okay, the general electronic configuration is n-1 d1 to 10 ns1 to 2. So they have n-1 d orbital with minimum 1 to maximum 10 electron, and ns orbital, some elements with 1 electron, many with 2 electrons. Okay, right. Then all are metals. All the D block elements are metals. They possess variable oxidation state. So like many P block elements, even many D block metals also having variable oxidation state. I have given some example. Iron with +2 +3, ferrous ferric, copper +1 +2, cuprous cupric. Likewise chromium with +3 +6. Manganese is having many oxidation states starting with +2 to +7, etc. So many D block metals are having variable oxidation states. Okay. Then these D block elements are capable of forming all the three different types of compounds. They form ionic compound, covalent compound, as well as coordination type of compound also. And especially they form a compound called as interstitial compounds. Example, PDH, palladium hydrate. Because D block metals, they possess interstitial space, that is space between the atoms. There some smaller elements such as carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, etc. can be easily trapped. Then the compounds which are formed such a way by trapping smaller elements in the interstitial space are called as interstitial compounds. They readily form alloys, metal mixtures. They are the good conductors of heat and electricity, as well as many D block metals are used as catalysts in chemical reactions for changing the speed of chemical reactions. They possess high melting point and boiling point because D block metals have high density. So melting point and boiling points are generally high. Then they possess metallic luster in the sense shining. So D block metals have shining property. Okay. They possess malleability and ductility. Malleability is nothing but making into thin sheets. Ductility into thin wires. Many D block metals can be easily made into thin sheets as well as thin wires. They are paramagnetic. Due to presence of unpaired electron, many D block metals have paramagnetic nature, which means attracted in magnetic field, as well as they form colored ions also. Okay, many D block metal compounds are colored. Copper sulfate, ferrous sulfate, ferric chloride, potassium permanganate. I think you know that, isn't it? Right. So these are the some properties of D block metals. The last type of elements is nothing but F block elements. These are also called as inner transition elements. Inner transition elements. The other name for this F block, rare earth element and synthetic elements, etc. So they are found rarely. They have minimum occurrence in the earth crust, so that they are also called as rare earth elements. And many of the F block elements, particularly the second row F block elements, are synthesized only in the laboratory. They are not found in the earth, so that they are commonly called as synthetic elements or artificial elements also. Okay. Whereas in F block we have two rows. Actually, these F block elements are located at the bottom of the periodic table, isn't it? In two rows. The first row is called as lanthanoid with the general configuration 4F1 to 14, 5D0 to 1, 6S2. The second row is called as actinoid with electronic configuration 5F0 to 14, 5D0 to 2, 6D0 to 2, 7S2. Okay, the first row is also called as 4F block elements because in the first row elements the valence electron is getting added in 4F orbital. Okay, actually it starts with cerium with atomic number 58 and ends with lutetium Lu atomic number 71. So almost 14 elements are there. Okay. Similarly, actinoids also called as 5F block elements because the extra electron, valence electron, is getting added in 5F orbital. There are 14 elements starting with thorium atomic number 90 to the last element lawrencium atomic number 103. Okay, right. Then like D block and S block, F block also fully metals. All the elements are metals. They possess high melting point. Like D block, they also form colored ions. Okay, colored ions, they form complexes, coordination compounds. Some elements possess variable oxidation state. Almost all the actinoids are radioactive in nature, whereas lanthanides, only one is radioactive, which is nothing but promethium, whereas in the actinoids all the 14 elements are radioactive in nature. Okay, so lanthanoid elements are available in the earth crust, so they have natural occurrence, but almost all the actinoids are synthesized only in laboratory by artificial transmutation process. That is the reason why this F block together called as synthetic elements. Okay, so these are about the 4 different types of elements based on the electronic configuration. Thank you.